Hi everyone. First of all, I am under the weather. I'm just going to take a minute to say a few things here. I'm Spencer Nugent from sketchaday.com. I am a product designer currently living in the great state of Utah. And for a while there, I was kind of doing some videos every day. If any of you have done video production or video work before, you'll realize and know that it does take a lot of time. So what I'm going to try and do here is actually something I've never done before. I'm just going to draw like I normally draw. Usually I do kind of edit for the sake of time, but I'm just going to take the next 15 minutes and just kind of ad-lib. And this year I wanted to just think of what's the easiest way to excuse me, what's the easiest way to get some content out and just keep myself accountable and produce some good stuff for the people who like to see the type of things I like to draw. So what I'm going to do is, again, just kind of free form and create. I'm happy to take your suggestions as always, Spencer@sketchaday.com. But for today, I'm just going to kind of warm up and sketch whatever comes to mind. So hang tight with me. There probably, for now at least, won't be any music on these videos, so hang tight, sit tight. You may hear a kid running around in the background or furnace clicking on here and there, and I'll just kind of, like I said, ad-lib and interject as need be. Today I'm sketching with a ballpoint pen, and since I actually haven't drawn that much this week, I took a new job. I am a design manager for a company called Space Monkey. I did some design work for them back in the day, so I am drawing a little less than I'd like to, so I figured I'd warm up just a little bit. You'll notice that to warm up, and I'll try and do this every single time, but I am just drawing some straight lines on the page. You can, if you're trying to follow along anyways, you can do it kind of like I did, freehand, or you can put two lines on the paper, or two dots on the paper, sorry, and try and connect those dots. And I am drawing with my shoulder. Right now I'm kind of standing up as I draw, so forgive any camera shake if it happens here. Again, we're just giving this a dry run and seeing what happens. Okay, so once I feel good about all that, I'll actually reuse my paper here and do some circles. I like drawing circles. These are about 3 inches or about 70 millimeters in diameter for you people outside the US. Some smaller ones. I actually have another warm-up technique that I stole from a friend of mine, but I won't do that in this video. I'm feeling good tonight, so I'll go ahead and get into drawing here pretty quick. Okay, now most of you have seen me draw or interacted with me know that I am not, I'll be the first to admit that I'm not the best at what I do, but I do love what I do. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, or also if you have any feedback or whatever, as long as it's constructive, guys, keep it good. Happy to listen to you. So always something to learn is what I always say. Anyhow, that's kind of my warm-up, circles, lines, and then what I like to do sometimes is actually combine my line warm-ups with my next, which is ellipses. You can do this two ways. One is to try and draw ellipses between these parallel lines that I've sketched and increase the degree of the ellipse as I move down. move down my page. And the reason I do this is, if you're familiar with perspective drawing, I've got horizon line here. So the further down in my perspective drawing, and this isn't accurate, but just to give you an idea, the greater the degree of the ellipse. So just a nice way of practicing, warming up on those ellipses. The other way is to draw some parallel lines and also try and draw ellipses so that the minor axis falls on the line that we just sketched. It jumps a little too big there, so I'm going to try and open up a little bit less. Okay, feeling pretty good. Alright, what to sketch, what to sketch. Well, since this is my first video of the new year, I get to pick the topic myself. Just to be fair, I'm going to do, I think, something a little product related. I haven't really done that in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and do like an ideation sketch page, and then maybe do kind of a quick concept sketch page. So far only about 6 minutes in. I'm going to try and keep these to hopefully about 15 minutes a piece. Again, no music, just me talking, you hanging out with me, I guess. Okay, so let's say I decided to sketch a common household iron. I may start out, as I typically do, with kind of an orthographic sketch. Haven't really looked at these recently, but I'm going to do my best. Again, if I'm missing something, just go easy on me. Like I said, I haven't done my due diligence here and actually looking at an iron, but I may just start out by lightly sketching some profiles, seeing what works. Maybe this one has kind of a detail setting. We'll handle, and we can use some of these lines here. So I like to thumbnail shapes as I'm sketching, and then I'm going to sit down here for a sec. So I like to thumbnail out some shapes just really quickly, see if I can find something that kind of interests me. So a process like this would typically be where the project is primarily an aesthetic exploration rather than trying to solve a particular problem. So like I said, I haven't really spent much time with these. This is just kind of, you know, looking at different shapes of an iron. Just kind of seeing what feels good tonight. And to get this rolling in perspective, I've kind of sketched essentially the bottom of an iron on a plane, and I have another plane here that I'm going to use to sketch my profile. So as I'm sketching this in my head, I'm thinking, there's my profile. Okay, and I can kind of imagine cross sections here and what those would look like as I'm sketching my iron. So if I'm sketching this one, for example, number 1, I may do something like this and like so, picturing the back of the iron. Got a profile there, and then I can start to map out kind of where this handle shape would be, as well as some of these part breaks. And that's where you put your water in, and my iron has a special detailed tip. So I kind of deviated from my thumbnail a little bit, but that's okay. Here's my little wheel to adjust the temperature. Now I've got 2 of these pens. If you're interested in purchasing them, I'll put a link in my video where you can purchase them on Amazon.com. Full disclaimer, I don't make money off of these videos really, but I love to share what I know. It would be nice if I made a little something, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to link to these on Amazon and pretty much any materials I use as I sketch, so that if you decide to buy something, it actually supports me. I can get cooler equipment, cooler lights, cooler materials, and continue to feel like, you know, I can kind of do this a little bit more. But you know, I'll still do it because bottom line is it is fun. So I'm using a Bic Cristal or Crystal pen, and it is, this one in particular is a bold tip. So it's got a, I don't know if you can see this. Let's see here, it's got a little fatter tip on it. This is a Cristal 1.6. Here's a regular Cristal pen. So it's going to give me just some thicker lines on the sketch as I'm drawing here. Also gives some really nice darks as I'm sketching, or if I'm shading in an area, for example. So this is going to be maybe a different material. So I'm just going to shade this in. Nice thing about ballpoint pen is I can go lighter and get some nice variation in my tone. As I shade back. And because this is a ballpoint pen, I'm gonna sketch through here to show, maybe this is where you fill the iron so that it has water. I'm just going to change this shape just a little bit, like so. Center line there, maybe just a small detail. So kind of got a concept I like. Let's add just a drop shadow here. I'm using my medium point Cristal or fine point. It doesn't really say on the barrel what it is, it's just a Cristal pen. And I'm going to add some line weight to the bottom here. And I've switched to Cristal Bold. You can see I'm kind of just hitting the same line over and over. Just to create some nice line weight there. A little bit of shading on the front. Okay, so I've got some markers here. I've got chart pack, add markers. Again, I'll link to these in my profile. These are nice because they actually don't make the ballpoint pen bleed. So if I want to just indicate maybe a different material, I can do something like this. as I'm sketching. Unfortunately, I don't have any different colors today. I think my son took them and he was playing with them, so all we have is some grays. So I'll try and use these as I'm just kind of free sketching right now. Okay, I'm kind of riffing on this, and I like this little detail that I just sketched in. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this right here and move this to the side. Again, this is probably what I would consider an ideation page. So you've got an idea here, got something down here. So I'm just going to move this up, and you can't see it because it's not on camera, but I'm just going to reference that as I'm drawing here and create a kind of a presentation sketch. Okay, so now I'm kind of referencing the design that I created. And because this is ballpoint, I can sketch light till I get it right. And I kind of like this detail that I happen to sketch in the side here. So I'm going to keep that. And show the handle section here. And just kind of make a little bit more sense of some of these lines as they move through the product. So you can kind of see here, I've pushed this line down, tied it into the handle, where this line here looks like it's kind of tapering. If you look at the distance there, so just to create some dynamic in the form itself. Okay, now I think I need, if I remember correctly, I guess it's been a while since I've done some ironing. I think I need some kind of control or button here for the steam. So I'm just going to kind of work this in. And I'm not too worried about completely nailing this right now, because once I add my line weight with my Cristal Bold, you'll kind of see that this whole thing will start to really pop. So just mapping out, sorry about my voice again, just mapping out some of these highlights, or sorry, shadows on my sketch here, and correcting a few things. So here's where our water goes in, and this is kind of translucent, a little cover. Cover for that. Okay, so got my base sketch in. I'm going to just kind of add some materials here, and just really lightly. This, believe it or not, this is a 40% gray marker. Looks pretty dark, right? Oh, I never did say what paper I was using. I'm just using regular old printer paper, stuff you'd find in any office supply store. It's really cheap. Okay, now to keep this really simple, I'm just gonna add these 2 color spots, and the reason I'm doing this is just to kind of break up the sketch a little bit here. And to kind of show where these materials would be. So maybe this is, some kind of rubber overmold of some sort. So the reason I've left this white, so there's probably going to be some shadowing under here on the handle. So I've kept that a little dark, and I can go ahead, now that this marker is dry, shadow a little bit here where the surface breaks, and right on top probably have a little bit of a shadow core and some shadowing happening through there. So not really getting into rendering per se, just a little application of some shadow and tone to show material, right? And I'm just gonna test this. It's a little too warm, a little too warm. It's kind of dark. So on the bottom of the iron, I'm just going to add that line for now. And the rest of it, I'm just going to leave white. So bring in the big boy, big crystal bold, and I'm just going to kind of establish a nice outline here. So the reason this curves this way, in my drawing here I had it curving this way, but it probably should be curving up, is there's probably, you can think of it like an ellipse, right? So this would be a section of ellipse because of the point of view, the way you're looking at it, and down here you'd have this shape where it's kind of bowing down. So I'm just going to change that just a little bit. My thinner pen. Okay, back to the bold pen here. Again, some kind of button. Because it's a button, I'm going to put a nice double line in there. Let's try and hit that outline, keep it nice and clean. So again, here I've got this line, so I'm just gonna arc as I sketch this. Same on the bottom. Ghost my line in. Now I can sketch that in. Pretty cool, right? Sketch this detail in right here where this part break happens. So while I'm doing this, I just want to say thanks to everyone. I don't say thanks enough. I know sometimes I'm not super responsive online. Reality is, like I said, I don't do this full time. This is kind of my labor of love. I do love interacting when I can. So if you send a message and I don't respond, or you comment and I don't respond, it's not that I haven't seen it. I've probably seen it. I just either, I've got my hands full with my kids or work or what have you. So as much as I'd love to respond to everyone, I can't exactly do that. So just so you know, in case you're ever wondering if I do receive your messages, yes. Email is probably the best way to get a hold of me. You can find my email on my website at sketchaday.com and contact me that way. Those who've actually emailed me know that I do respond to emails when I can. So I'm just going to add a little bit of a shading to this knob. Also, if there's something you see me do or seems really confusing, just let me know. Well, the best way to let me know is, again, via email. Even if you comment on this video, I probably won't read it. And again, it's not that I don't think your comment is valuable. I just let's just put it. I find that comments on YouTube tend to not to be the most valuable. So email me if you really want to shoot me a comment. That's the best way. Again, just shoot me an email and I will most likely get back to you. Sometimes I do that. You probably, if you were paying attention, you noticed that I just rotated the page 360 degrees for no reason. I like to rotate my page, and sometimes I think, oh, this will be the right angle, and it's not, so then I end up kind of where I started. So that's what just happened. What I'm adding here is just, I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of riffing right now. The concept is to apply kind of a shadow core to the sketch, and because I'm just using 2 markers and my ballpoint pen, I'm having to kind of fake in some of the shadowing and shadow core. So for example, here where I've got this surface break, I'm just going to shade with my pen, like so. And just a little bit on the surface as well, just to show that the surface breaks but the material doesn't break. And got a nice indicator here, some shadowing. Under here like so. Just a few dots. Gotta get our drop shadow in. iron probably has some sort of logo on it. So got that in there. Some sort of text there, and I'm not really sure what I want this to be. I just feel like maybe it'd be interesting if the shape completed itself, but for now I'm just gonna leave that. So just the chords there. Ordinarily you'd probably add some text. Here's my button. And this is probably for spray and steam. And I've got my temperature knob. And here's where water fills in. And this is overmold grip. And there we go. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, like I said, raw, real. This is how videos are going to be from now on. Sorry it took so long on this one. Probably 25 minutes in is my guess. Oh, 32 minutes. So hopefully that was helpful, from warm-ups to more warm-ups to thumbnail and concept with ballpoint pen and a marker. Thanks guys. If you like what you see, follow me on Facebook. That's facebook.com/sketchaday, all one word, sketchaday. You can find me on Instagram at sketchaday, DOTCOM. Or just Google me, Spencer Nugent, and you'll find me up to interesting things online, hopefully, making furniture, sketching, hanging out with my family, all that good stuff. Thanks guys, see you soon.